Hello there. I'm Nikki Nicole, and welcome to Thanks for Listening podcast. I want to take this time to thank you for joining. I want to take a moment to thank you for joining. If you're new here, this is a safe place where we openly discuss topics like mental health, relationship, real life goals, issues, struggles, obstacles, and how to deal with them, right? To have a place to come and talk, that's what I want to create. So thank you for joining. And I just want to mention something. If you're new here, this is episode 4, and I am so excited to consistently be able to create this podcast consistently 4 episodes. Insert music here. I'm excited because it's a challenge. As busy as life is, it is truly a challenge. And when you think about it, today, what we're talking about is exactly what I've been trying to build, right? Because I have a question for you right now. And right now, this week, this month, are you happy with the habits that you have? Like, take a moment to really think about that, right? Do you have a majority of good habits, mostly? Or are you struggling with some bad habits? I mean, you have to really ask yourself the question, is this the way I want to keep going to get to the next part of my life? Right? I could ask you that question, but you truly have to look yourself in the eyes, in the mirror. That's my advice all the time. Look yourself in the eyes, in the mirror, to find out, is this the path you want to take to get to the next part of your life, right? And when I was thinking about the next topic to talk about, habits just came into my mind, because what I'm trying to do here is build better habits. I'm trying to improve who I was versus who I was yesterday. Mentally, spiritually, physically, all of the above. I want to be better. I have plans for the future. And with the path I take is, oh, Lord. My future plans have, in order to get to the next, in order to get to the next phase of my life, I have to implement better habits and drop some of these bad habits. And I have some tips on how you can get started to implement better habits, right? I was just going over, really. I know I've been doing some research, and we're going to talk a little bit about my favorite book here. One of my favorite books, Atomic Habits. I don't have the cover on there, but Atomic Habits. I don't have the cover on there, but Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've seen it all over the place. I've talked to many people who've started the book, read the book. So we're going to talk a little bit about this book and some tips that could help you implement better habits. And what I want you to understand is that everybody has bad habits. Just because you have bad habits doesn't make you a bad person. So I want to remind you that, okay? So don't think, oh, okay, this person has better habits than me, so that makes them better than me, or I'm not a good person because I don't have better habits. That's not the case. So give yourself grace as always. Dropping a habit or starting a habit doesn't just happen like the snap that I just did with my fingers. It doesn't happen like that. You have to give yourself time and understanding. So one of the first ways that helped me build better habits is to start small. Be realistic, be attainable. You know, you don't want to sit there and give yourself this goal to accomplish this huge goal, right? Within a short amount of time. Okay, you have to be realistic, and you have to plan. You have to stick these things out. I always tell you, document things, right? I told you about the video logs. I've told you about the journaling and those type of things assist with building better habits, but like planning, strategically planning. So if you want to build a better habit, let's talk about how I was able to finish that book, Atomic Habits. Now, and I'm not even going to lie to you. Nikki, reading? Who? If you know me, you know. I could binge 1,000 shows. Okay, that's actually a habit I'm trying to cut this month, is stop binging so many shows, because you got Disney, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, like YouTube, everything out there. And you could just stop a series. Like you could run through 8 seasons of, a 14 episode season, and then be like, now what? And then find another series to binge. Trust me, I've been there. So you're not alone. It's definitely, and there's so much good shows out there, right? It's easy to fall right into the trap of just continuously watching and binging. But what is it really serving you? Unless you're trying to be an actress or you're studying something about the show, then a lot of the times it's just taking the time away from you that you could be using to plan, right? So when this year I decided I wanted to read more. And the way that I was able to finish that book was to plan. Damn alarm. See, this habit, doing this show is creating a new habit, right? And I have so many alarms to help with habits, and we'll talk about that later. But I have so many alarms to help with the habits. And last week I was doing the episode and the alarm cut me off, and I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I cut the alarms off. And then so this week it's still new. Like I said, this is episode 4. So you got to give yourself grace. You have to have fun with the ups and downs. I'm always going to say that. Have fun with the ups and downs, because the alarm just cut off and then it could just throw off the whole train of thought. But we reeling it right back in. We reeling it right back in. We know what to do here, okay? So we were talking about starting small. We're talking about planning. And I was telling you how I was trying to read more. So what I did is I set a specific time on the same dates to do something and to stick to it, right? What I did is I go to break. I have a first 15-minute break, right? I work 3 days, 3 specific days. And every first 15, no matter what's going on, no matter what's going on, let's say I didn't eat, so now I'm going to go eat. Or let's just say, I'm not really feeling hungry, but I'm feeling tired. Whatever the case may be, I would consistently read for 15 minutes. And sometimes it would be a full chapter. Sometimes it would be a half a chapter. Whatever it would be, I would consistently read for 15 minutes. And that allowed me to finish the book. Plus, it created a habit of, I want more than 15 minutes. Sometimes I would take that book and I would read some more during lunch, because I was like, I really enjoyed that chapter. So I think I want to continuously dive into that, and I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I want to get into that. So by planning and sticking to that for 3 days, it took maybe 2 months for it to really resonate of, okay, if I don't have my book, like one time I thought I left my book and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I was lost almost, because I had created this habit and it was benefiting me and I was enjoying it. And then I fell off for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to look at my phone. I don't want to go back to going on social media and just mindlessly scrolling. I don't want to do that. I don't want to turn on pull up an app or HBO Max or Peacock or whatever and watch a series. I don't want to do that. I want to utilize the 15 minutes like I've been utilizing it. And once you start to create habits that affect you positively, you're going to want to hold on to that. So starting small and being realistic. If I would have put so much weight on me and said, okay, or like if I would have said, so when we talk about planning, right? If I would have said, I need to read 2 times a week. There's no specific date. There's no specific time. There's no real plan. I'm just up in the air with it, right? So just have organization when it comes to that. And then attainable. If I'd have said, okay, I need to read 6 days this week for at least an hour. Excuse me. I have other responsibilities. I cannot just sit and dedicate 6 days an hour each day, because then if I were to miss one day, or if I were not to do an hour, then I would start to beat myself up, and then it becomes discouraging. So when you are trying to build a habit, plan, make realistic so that it doesn't discourage you. Okay. The second thing that helped me is being consistent, right? And I talk about this all the time. It's literally everywhere in my life. When I'm writing in my journal entries, when I'm having conversations with people, I am talking about consistency, because that was very hard for me to create and to understand. Really, it's like, okay, I need to be the same every day, and that's not the case. As I was diving in and like listening to different podcasts and learning myself, I was seeing how consistency looks different each day. As long as you're showing up for what you want to show up for, as long as you're putting some effort towards it, that's you being consistent. It's not going, okay, so on this particular day, I went to the gym and I went hard. Oh, I went hard. I was so consistent. This, matter of fact, let's just make it this week. I went to the gym 3 days. That's my goal, right? I go 3 days. I go to the gym 3 days a week, right? And I want to at least do an hour each day. Absolutely. I want to get in there and get that workout and just feel great when I come, because then I feel productive, right? So then the following week, I'm not feeling as strong, right? So I go to the gym, but this time I go 3 days a week, but I only do 45 minutes, right? Then the following week, I kind of sore, and I think I need to rest my shoulder. So I only do 2 days, and I still only do like maybe 30, 45 minutes. So by the time here we go with week 4, and you're like, man, the second week I only did, 45 minutes. The third week I freaking missed a day. And, it's easy to feel like you're not accomplishing the consistency part. But I'm here to tell you that it looks different each week. So just keep showing up. Okay, because then the following, and this is true story. This is actually what happened to me. I mean, I even went, one time I hurt myself and I decided to skip the whole week. And I've been back in the gym for 6 months now. And I decided, okay, I have not missed a week at all for 6 months. And my body was telling me that I actually needed to take a rest. So I took the week off, and then getting back into it, it was a little bit tough because I had missed that whole week. I had broke something that I had been consistent at for 6 months, even though some weeks I would do an hour session, some weeks I would do 30 minutes. So it was still fluctuating consistency, but I never missed an entire week. Now that week I did supplement. I went for walks instead, and I was really one with nature. And so I wanted to take that time to meditate and just reflect and let my body rest. But I craved that gym because I created that habit. So don't deny the craving. Once you start to build new habits and you're consistent, don't deny that craving. If your body is calling or your mind is saying, we want to get back into that. We want to get back into that. Don't say, well, we missed a whole week, so how are we going to do that? These doubts are going to get in your head. So just be realistic and understanding that consistency looks different each day, each week. Just show up. That's what it's about. Show up. Okay? Take that step. That's what it's about. Right? The third one. Did I say the third? I said. Oh, I was talking about 3. I was talking about 3 days. Okay. The third tip that I have for you is to create a routine, right? You want to understand that creating new habits and breaking old habits is going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird because you're doing something new and you're getting rid of something that you've been doing for years, right? I had been out of the gym. I had been out of the gym for almost 2 years, and it was time to get back into that. And I needed to find my routine. It took me a while. I had to figure out, what days work for me, what times work for me. And honestly, I'm still playing with it. I still don't have, because the way life is, sometimes you create routines, right? And sometimes it can't stay the same based on, let's talk about summer vacation. Let's talk about all these breaks the kids have now during school, right? You got fall break, you got winter, you got, wait, hold on. You got fall break, you got Thanksgiving break, you got winter break, you got spring break, and then school's over and the kids are home. And some of them are going to camps. We got sports. We got after school activities. We got drama clubs. We got hanging out with friends. And that's just the life of a parent. If you think about just one who doesn't have a parent, you have sicknesses. You have celebrations. You have different instances like job changes. You have, falling outs where, excuse me, where you're just not in the mood. And it's just so many variables that can cause you to change your routine. Okay? So routine is about building consistency and staying structured. So with routine and structure, it goes hand in hand. That's what you want, right? When you're trying to build a new habit, you definitely want structure. But sometimes you have to take a look and make sure that you're being patient with yourself. Because you create a routine, let's say that's working for you, and then all of a sudden you create a routine and all of a sudden life happens. And you're like, now I have to change. Now I have to change this routine that I've had for years. Okay, we just got a divorce. Now I have to change the routine of what I'm looking for. Okay, we just moved. Now I have to get used to this new routine. These are things that happen, right? I just switched jobs. I just switched careers. These things happen, and that's great. Growth and change is beautiful. You don't want to stay in the same place. But what you need to understand is when that happens, don't just throw the routine out the window and say, okay, well, that's out the window. Now I got to figure it out again. That's okay. You're going to have to now create a new routine, be patient, and make sure you understand that you might have to tweak it sometimes. Trial and error. If it doesn't work, try it a different way, okay? Until you figure out what works best for you and your family. Okay, the fourth thing I wanted to talk about, huge, is accountability, right? Oh my God, ownership. A lot of people do not know how to take that accountability, to just hold themselves accountable for the choices they're making when it comes to their habits. Being aware of the choices you're making and how they affect your long-term goals is important, and you need to hold yourself accountable. That is what it's about. You have to, my suggestion, document, because when you document, it's easier to be able to review it and say, okay, I'm going to hold myself accountable because on this day here, on this week here in particularly, I didn't write in the journal for this, and I don't like that. So I need to go ahead and make sure that I set an alarm, because now we're reviewing and we're altering how we can make it work. How did I go a whole week without writing in my journal, and it just was like I didn't even realize that I went a whole week without writing in my journal until I went to go write in it randomly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have not written in a week. So you don't want to just say, oh well. If it's something that you want and that you value, then hold yourself accountable and make the changes you need to make to achieve that goal, right? And a huge part, I'm noticing, this is new, a huge part in my life that has been great is having an accountability partner. My gosh, I didn't know how effective that would be. I've always felt like, okay, I'm outgoing, but I'm also an introvert. I don't want to really have too many friends. I don't want to tell too many friends my business or my plans. I want to, it's not about the gatekeeping era is what they like to call gatekeepers. It's not about that, but it was like a sense of paranoia, like, okay, paranoia, so that I would be like, I don't want to tell them because what if they try to steal my idea? What if they're jealous and their energy makes it bad? Me. These are things you can't control. So it didn't matter whether you sitting still or whether you're moving forward. People are going to feel how they're going to feel. And as my bestie Mel Robbins says, let them feel it, right? Because you are not going to be able to change it. The alarm again, you guys. Okay, so I love a good accountability partner. And my accountability partners out there, you know who you are. And I thank you and I love you. And I suggest you get you 1, get you 2, get you 3. Because that's what it's all about. Building a community and opening yourself up to make these connections with people. And I am absolutely having the time of my life doing so. And I want you to join me by getting yourself an accountability partner, okay? Use this platform to create and, comment. And y'all can have fun in the comments and talk about things that help you stay accountable, things that help you break bad habits and start new ones. Because that's what I want to hear. I want to hear about how y'all are able to get through it, because I'm still learning. This is my 365 journey of learning how to be a better person. And I want you to join me on that. Okay? So surround yourself with the people who support your efforts to improve yourself. And maybe they want to improve too. And that's beautiful. Because then you come together, you work together, you find ways to improve. And that's what it's all about. Because you don't just want to stay still doing the same thing over and over again, or being unhappy at a job that you hate, or in a relationship that you hate, in a home that you hate. Whatever you're not happy with, you have the choice to change it, right? And I want to talk about these 3 topics in this book right here, Atomic Habits, that really stuck out to me. And when I first was building new habits, this literally repeated in my head. See, you know what? It don't say the chapter. I'm pretty sure it's chapter 1. Okay. And it says, goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. Right? So what I used to tell myself is alter the process. It's the process, not change the system. It's the process. Alter the process. That's what I kind of kept repeating in my head. It's like, okay, when it comes to the laundry, and I know you can relate. Kids, no kids, whatever the case may be, the laundry is an everlasting thing, right? And what we tend to do is, especially if you got a chair in your room, that chair might become a laundry basket. Laundry basket for the clean, laundry basket for the dirty, laundry basket for the folded, right? So when I would look at that chair and I would see that pile of laundry on there, I'd be like, oh my gosh, the laundry again, right? But what I would say to myself was change the process, change the process, change the process. So instead of taking the laundry, doing it, right? Doing the laundry, washing, drying, putting it in the basket, I would make sure that I folded it, right? And I'm not all the way there, guys. I just had a basket of folded laundry in my room for a week, but guess what? It didn't go onto the chair right away. It stayed in the basket for a couple of days. Then I was like, you know what? Change the process. Come on. So then I put it onto the chair. I dumped it out of the basket because I'm like, okay, now I'm creating more dirty clothes and now I need the basket. So I'm like, okay, clear the basket, if I put the clean clothes onto the couch, I will have to put the clothes up. Guess what? I didn't. It took me 2 more days to get the clothes into the drawer, but that's okay because I'm aware of changing the process, right? And then there's another one here. Where are you? There goes one. And where's that other one? There's 3 of them that I really wanted to talk to you about. Where you at? Okay, there's that one. And you know what? It was hard to find it when I was in. I should have freaking put a bookmark or something. I'm gonna be sitting here till tomorrow trying to figure this out. And you know what? This is the fun. I see it, y'all. I see it. Bang. It was on the opposite side. And that's what it's about, right? The processes. But I wanted to talk about it because on page 143, it says, how long does it actually take to form a new habit? It doesn't give you an exact timeline, okay? Because there's so much research. It takes, 3 months. It takes 7 days. It takes 21 days. There's so many. As I was like looking at it when I was learning to implement new habits, I was like, wow, this is a lot of like, which is it? Is it the week? Is it, 50 days? Is it, 21 days? What is it? What is it? But what I learned is it's whatever works for you, right? Because what it says here is habit formation is the process by which a behavior becomes progressively more automatic through repetition. So really, if you're saying, okay, well, I can be consistent, but it's gonna, be different, right? All these variables take place into building a habit. So if you're trying to build a new habit, you have to repeat, right? But it's not always going to be the same. So just understand, knowing into it, it's about the processes, it's about being realistic, and just understanding that your brain, your subconscious is all listening, right? It's all listening. So don't beat yourself up about you still doing that bad habit. Just know that whenever you have that bad habit, it's because of repetition, right? So you have to look for ways to kind of distract yourself when you're trying to get rid of a bad habit. So if you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're not going to tell your brain that you want to stop this habit. You're not. Because you're showing your brain, okay, we're going to keep doing this. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'll stop next week. Okay, I'm going to keep doing it. One more week, I'll start next month. It's just, you got to be realistic. You got to hold yourself accountable. Just get it together. It's not easy and it's going to take time. But if you don't start, you still be in the same place next year. Okay? So do yourself a favor. Do your future self a favor and cut the repetition so that you can cut the bad habit and improve your life, right? And the last thing, which is very fitting to my last tip of accountability. And here on page 116, it says, we imitate the habits of 3 groups in particular: the close, the many, the powerful. Okay, so now I suggest you get this book. And you read it, okay? Because it resonated hugely with me. And, excuse me, water makes me burp. I don't know. It helped me implement these new habits, and a lot of what they spoke about really hit home. And it made me realize, reading that the 3 groups is the close, the many, the powerful. Those don't have to be, the powerful, first of all, is probably people who are out and about. You're watching them on TV, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, influencers, people famous. You want to be influenced by what they're doing, and you want to do the same habits because you like their results. But you have to understand that it's not going to look the same because we're each unique. We're authentic to ourselves, and you have to be true to yourself. So know that it's not going to be exactly the same. Okay? The many, and again, go into the book and read so you can know exactly what he talks about, because he goes into detail. I just want to have a quick conversation about how these things can affect you. And if everyone around you is smoking, then it's very possible that you may start smoking too. And you know what happened one year when I was in high school? Everybody was getting pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I did not get pregnant, but it was almost like if I did, it wouldn't have been a problem because it was the norm. That was what was happening. Everybody was getting pregnant in high school. And thank God I did not. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it was something that was happening all around. It looked like, and I'm not saying it's a habit, but it was like a trend almost. It's like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant too. She's pregnant too. She's pregnant. It's just everybody was pregnant. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Right? Your close circle of people, you're probably going to have similar habits. So if what you're trying to do is be closer to God, hanging out with somebody who is not, or is not even a believer, you might run into some problems. To be honest, you don't agree on many things. Your values are different, and it's just something that may not work out in the long run. I'm not saying if they don't believe in the same thing that you believe that y'all can't be friends, because that's absolutely not true. Absolutely not. But if it's affecting your growth on how you want to move towards your future, then you need to reevaluate if that's who you want around you. And that's what it's all about, being aware of your surroundings. And that's why I wanted to talk about that in the book. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware what's being fed to you on your algorithm, or what's popping up on your feed for YouTube or the TV, because, you know, they're listening. They're listening to us. And if you want to stop doing a bad habit, then you're going to have to hold yourself accountable. And that's the main thing. Stop lying to yourself and saying, it's okay, I'll stop next week, I'll stop next month. And then you sit here and you check back in, or you look at your document of you saying, I'm going to quit this week. And then here you are doing that same thing. And you're like, you kind of feel bad about it. You're like disgusted, almost like, oh my gosh, listen to this past Nikki talk about how she's not going to do this anymore. And then look at me as I listen to it, still doing it. Cut the crap. Be honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable. Okay? Because I believe you can do it. I know that it takes time, and I know that it's going to be hard work. But what do I tell you? Anything worth it is going to be hard. So suck it up, buttercup, and get it done. Okay? Because if it's important to you, then it's worth it. So do it. Stop hiding. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm still struggling, but I'm aware. I'm aware what needs to change. And I'm looking for ways to figure out how to change them. But as long as I keep implementing better habits, it's going to be easier to start weeding out the bad ones, right? Right? So join me. I challenge you to find a habit that you want to stop and a habit that you want to improve before the end of the year. And I don't know when you're watching this. So right now, where we're at right now, it's October 2025. And this is the first month of the last quarter of 2025. So if you're here with me right now, I challenge you. That challenge is for you for the end of the year. And if we're here in the future, give yourself your own timeline. Give yourself your own quarter, whatever quarter you're in. Give yourself to the end of the quarter to get it done. Treat your life like a business, because you want to be successful in it, don't you? Right? You want to have a successful business? You want to have a successful life? Then invest in yourself, okay? So, on that note, I want to thank you for listening, and thank you for joining our 4th episode. We have consistently done 4 episodes, and I'm so excited, and there's so much more to come, because 4th quarter is all about opening up yourself to new things and putting yourself out there. So let's do this, right? So I'll catch you next week, and thank you again for listening. Now, please subscribe. Like, comment, post, share, do all of the above, because I appreciate all the support you give me. And for everyone who's already subscribed, thank you. To YouTube, thank you. All the social media platforms, thank you, God, number one, of course. Thank you, God, number one, of course, for giving me the opportunity and the strength and the braveness. Thank you, God. for giving me the courage to do this. Okay, so that's number one. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the ability and the courage to do so. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on episode 5. So have a great day, and thank you for listening. Mwah!